So what's a plateau? I define plateaus as 2 or more weeks of no weight loss. Some people like saying 4 weeks, but I use 2 because what I'm about to show you in this video lets you see when a plateau is coming sooner. And once you see it coming, you can prevent it, which means faster results. I'm Nico, nutrition coach microdosing tirzepatide to help control my binge eating and to lose some vanity weight. So plateaus can be pretty common because fat loss naturally slows down as we lose weight. This is obviously an issue because if we're not losing weight, it means we're delaying when we hit our goals. And if we can prevent plateaus, it means we can get consistent and technically faster weight loss. For example, let's say I hit my goal weight and it took like 8 months. And 2 of those months I was in a plateau. If I prevented the plateau, I could have hit my goal weight in 6 months. And on top of that, it usually requires more effort to break a plateau than it does to prevent it. So how do we prevent it? So there are 2 parts to preventing plateaus. 1, it's recognizing when your weight loss is slowing down. And 2, it's speeding up your weight loss. Let's go over part 1. For me to recognize when my weight loss is slowing down, all I do is track my weight. Then if I need to speed up my weight loss, I also need to track my food. And I have a third bonus thing that I track that I'll go over later in the video, which also helps with speeding up weight loss. And by just doing these things, I haven't plateaued in the past 6 months I've been microdosing. Every time I recognize my fat loss was slowing down, I just sped it up. Now, do you have to track to lose weight? Tracking itself doesn't cause weight loss. The only reason why I do it is to make sure I'm making consistent progress. Like if I don't know how much I weigh, then I don't know if I'm at a plateau or if I'm going to be in a plateau. And if I don't know how much I'm eating, then I don't know how to make adjustments to my food to continue to lose weight. To give an analogy, losing weight without tracking is like driving to a restaurant that you've never been to before without directions. Like if you have an idea on how to get to the restaurant, you either get lucky and find it, get lost and find it, or you just never find it. I want to make sure I find it, so I rely on directions. And I want to make sure I lose weight, so that's why I track my weight and food. I believe tracking is worth it, especially on a GLP-1 because I'm spending money on the meds. Like if I plateau for 2 months, that's 2 months of time and money wasted. Another thing is tracking is a habit that helps us make sure we don't regain the weight after we hit our goals. For example, if I lose weight and lower my dose, which I'm going to do, and I stop weighing myself and tracking my food, I'm going to unknowingly overeat. I can't rely on the GLP-1 to keep my hunger and weight in check because I'm taking less of it. So hunger and cravings is going to come back to an extent over time. Like I don't want to spend months losing weight just to regain it over like a year. Okay, let's start with tracking weight. Tracking weight just means using a bathroom scale and keeping the number somewhere, as in like logging the number. I use a weight tracking app, which I highly recommend because you can save the hassle of figuring out how fast or slow you're losing weight. It's just the weekly average like in this picture. I use an app called Shotzi because it's GLP-1 related and it tracks my shots, but there are plenty of apps out there like MyFitnessPal, MacroFactor, Chronometer, GLAP. Pretty much any app that tracks weight will work. What's nice about apps is that they also give a visual progress when you don't see the visual progress on your body, which can be pretty helpful and motivating. I didn't notice my weight loss on my body until like maybe after 12 pounds, but I knew I was making progress because I can just see it on the graph. It's just going down. All right, to get the most out of the app, I want to show you how I weigh myself. So I step on the bathroom scale as soon as I wake up and use the bathroom, and then I also have minimal clothes on, and I weigh myself before I eat or drink anything. So why do I do all this? So our weight is constantly fluctuating every day, and there's a lot of things that can cause it. So I like to make sure I can minimize the amount of fluctuations. This gives me the most consistent numbers on the scale. For example, if I weigh myself at night before bed, it means I'm weighing myself after a full day of eating, and that means I have some bloat and I probably have my clothes on. And all of these things weigh something, and it's not fat, but the scale doesn't know any better. Like before I did all this, I thought I wasn't losing weight, or sometimes I even thought I'd be gaining weight, but it was just a bunch of these factors that affected the number. To give a basic example, during the winter, I wear a lot of layers and it's like 5 pounds of clothes. So if I step on the scale with all those clothes on, I'll be 5 pounds heavier, but I know it's not fat. So I weigh myself without clothes on because I get a more accurate reading. Now, do you have to do all this? Not really, but the more you can do, the more accurate numbers you can get. Accurate and consistent. The more important thing is just making sure the weight trend line is going down over time in the app. Okay, so how often should we weigh ourselves? I usually say 3 days per week minimum. I do every day because I get more information on my weight, but there's issues with that. Like some people can develop scale anxiety because of the fluctuations. Like one day my weight could be really low and then the next day it could be like really high and then low again and then high again. And it looks like I'm not making any progress, but if I look at the app, I'm actually losing weight. Like you can kind of see all the little daily fluctuations that happen. It's just like a bunch of ups and downs. But over time, I'm losing weight. For people that don't know about how fluctuations work, it can be kind of discouraging to see the scale give a bunch of random numbers, even though they're making progress in the grand scheme of things. All right, so after I log my weight for like 2 weeks, how do I know if my fat loss is slowing down or if I'm going to plateau? First, we need to know how slow is too slow. When it comes to rate of loss, I aim to lose between 0.5% to 1% of my body weight per week. Feel free to pause the video to take a look at where you're at. Losing below 0.5% is too slow for me and will take forever to hit my goal weight. And above 1% is too fast, and I might have to deal with really low energy or potential muscle loss. This percentage-based approach, instead of like a static number, is a balance between speed and not dealing with potential side effects of rapid weight loss or really fast weight loss. Okay, once I know how much to lose in terms of pounds, I just check my app to see my rate of loss. So if my weekly average in the app is getting lower for more than 2 or more weeks in a row, then there's a good chance my weight loss is slowing down and I'm going to plateau. I use 2 weeks because 1 week can be natural weight fluctuations and 2 weeks tells me if I need to consider speeding up my weight loss. For example, let's say I'm losing at 0.8 pounds per week. Then the next week, I'm losing at 0.6 pounds per week. That slower weight loss can just be fluctuations. Now, the week after, if it's 0.4 pounds per week, then my weight loss is for sure slowing down, or a pretty good chance it's slowing down, and I'm going to plateau if I don't make changes. So if my weight loss is slowing down, then that means I need to make adjustments, and one of the first adjustments I consider making is to my food. But to make adjustments to my food, I need to track what I eat. Why do I track my food? If my weight loss is slowing down and I don't know how much food I'm eating, then it's hard to make the adjustments I need to continue to lose weight and prevent plateaus. Now, when I say tracking food, I also mean tracking calories. I don't track calories, but I do track my food using my own method. It doesn't matter what method you use to track food as long as you're consistent with it. And if you track calories, you most likely already have an app to do it, but if you don't, the ones I mentioned earlier can work. So Shotzi, MacroFactor, MyFitnessPal, etc. I track what I eat in a food journal just on the Notes app on my phone. And a few months ago, I started doing it on the YouTube post just to show what I'm eating. Also, I don't personally like to increase my dose as a way to prevent and break plateaus. I know some people do, but I don't, mostly because I just get more side effects and I like to keep my dose as low as possible. I only increase it to manage hunger when it goes up, which can happen when speeding up weight loss. So if my weight loss is slowing down, I just make adjustments to my food, as in I just eat less of it. Now, if I don't want to eat less, I make adjustments to my step count, which is the third bonus thing I track. Step count is just how many steps I take in a day or week. I like to increase my step count whenever I don't want to eat less food to prevent plateaus. And how do I track my step count? I use a Fitbit, but other options would be your smartwatch, like an Apple Watch or something, or your phone. Tracking steps is super easy because you just need to wear your smartwatch or have your phone on you, which I'm sure most of us do already. Okay, so tracking and recognizing when weight loss is slowing down is the first part to preventing plateaus. If your weight loss is not slowing down, then that's great. Just keep doing what you're doing. But if it is, then you need to do part 2, which is speed up your weight loss. I made a video on how I sped up my fat loss. I'll probably put it in the end card, like right below or whatever, or you can just look it up on the channel. All right, that's it. I hope this helped. Thanks for watching. Bye.